Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Yeah, it's
On
been
the
a while.
road to Canada.
A.
A. I do know that Winnipeg right now is hella cool because of Patrick Laine, or as the people call him, Hat-Trick Laine. He has 11 goals. Two games have been hat tricks for him, which is amazing
Why are you trying to get me to like the Jets?
because you need to go to the Church of Patrick Laine and Latter-day Saints,
I
or Latter-day
see.
Jets, I should say.
Yeah, no.
You need to read from the good book of Patrick Laine.
Do I now?
Yes. Accept your Finnish god.
Oh,
Like leave
okay,
the Russian
Finnish
god.
sounds good.
Leave the Russian god Ovechkin behind and come and celebrate the rebirth of a Finnish god.
Oh, I see. So leave Ovechkin. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's
There's a lot of similarities between Matthews and Laine and Crosby and Ovechkin. A lot of similarities, and that's going to be an exciting league to watch those two.
yeah, I'm sure, but I'm not giving up Ovechkin. It's just not gonna happen. No. That's my answer. My answer is no.
All right. So this can we just we're live right now, right?
Oh, we're live. We're absolutely live. I haven't told my story yet.
All right. Well, you haven't told your story yet. I think we'll lead with that story because this is Super Reset Brothers for November the 10th of 2016. I'm Tanner Larson, not on camera, although I have celebrated what was once unfathomable, a Cubs World Series, and I'll get to that at the end of the show, outside of the recording here. So to those listening to the recording, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait for a story another time, but when we're all done, I'm going to tell this story because I think it's kind of anecdotal, but you have a story to tell about Sparring Sunday.
Yeah, that the hilariousness has been going on there for anybody who hasn't gone to see it. This all started when we were doing the Extra Life charity stream for G1 Game Days. So I participate, and I normally do Sparring Sunday, but I did some streaming on Saturday as well, did some Overwatch. Of course, it turned into Meme Central. And the funny thing here, man, is like somebody came in and started what they call Debaser Facts.
Debaser facts?
Where they just keep saying that I like or agree with horrible things. Like
all right, let's hear a few.
Debaser's favorite Mortal Kombat game is Special Forces.
I mean, that's a fact. Yes, I would agree with that.
What are you talking about?
Is that not true?
What are you doing?
Someone passed that off as a fact, and I would believe it. I would absolutely believe it.
No. That's horrible. This is what I'm talking about.
That is a fact that is your favorite game. It's been known that for a while.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, anybody watching live or listening,
I'm on board with this. I'm 100%
this is exactly what
on
I'm
board
talking
with
about.
this.
With like this happening to me, it's horrible. Just no, it shouldn't be
accurate.
happening.
It's fairly accurate. Give me another.
Like my favorite angle in WWE was the Katie Vick angle.
I mean, that is another good fact. Yes, it is one of the more infamous ones, but it just shows that you have some sort of taste. I wouldn't say it's great, but I would say it's highly questionable. But, to each their own, I guess. Give me another fact.
Oh my god, they just keep going. You could just go with this all day. Debaser's favorite Street Fighter character is Dan Hibiki.
I mean, is it not?
No!
I think you're lying.
No!
Whoever is posting these facts knows more about you than anyone ever has.
It's a whole group of them. Now Makoto, one of the people doing it.
Okay, that's not true. That's a lie.
Now she showed up and she's like, my favorite game is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I told them, like, I don't know. And then somebody said, I'm the director, producer, writer, and everything of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
I mean, that is a fact, yes. That is a fact. Is it your favorite game? No. But are you the writer, producer, and director of it, absolutely.
That's going to be my legacy in life. I'm just going to go around making horrible.
And what a legacy that is! My goodness, I need more Debaser facts in my life. This is tremendous.
I don't think you need more.
Oh, I need more, but we will save that for another time. Oh, this is so great. I could just read a whole Wikipedia article of Debaser facts.
Perfect.
Just spend one entire day doing that, and I would feel satisfied. But we do have a show to get to.
Maybe.
And hopefully it distracts people from what has happened yesterday. So we're here to just kind of get away from all of that. And hopefully that's the only time we're going to bring it up. So with that being said, the next worst thing that happened recently was BlizzCon. And Patrick, do you have more on that?
Yeah, the worst the worst thing that happened for me, like I did order it through my company and it messed up as a pay-per-view, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it at all, which really broke my heart.
But there are recaps of it, of course.
Oh, of course. Of course. But I would say the big one that I was able to tune in and watch, because it was like right at the beginning, is I got to see Sombra. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty big, because like...
Which, by the way, let's back up on this a little bit. Yeah. We're going to talk about Overwatch here in this a little bit, but we're going to get to more of the Blizzard stuff. But I will say that when they released the Sombra spray, I thought that was it, and Blizzard was trolling everybody, which that would have been just absolutely funny. Like, how funny would that have been to just like have all these clues and a website and all this like track hunting and all this stuff, and then it's just a spray. Like, here you go, guys. Here's Sombra. One spray. Like, that would have been funny. That would have been absolutely funny for me. I don't know if a lot of people would have found that funny, but I would have found that hilarious.
Like, a lot of people would have just cried into a bowl.
Like, you have a moment in crime which spends like weeks and weeks of like updating and all this, and it's just for a spray. That would have been hilarious. That would have been just absolutely great. But we did see an actual character, which is playable in PTR now, which we will get into a little bit later. Yep. But there's other Blizzard news.
She is available in PTR. The one thing I did get to watch completely, and it made my day, was the new Hearthstone stuff.
Yes.
So for anybody who hasn't been paying a whole lot of attention to that, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan is coming for you.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Love these expansions. I can't get enough of them.
I know. They, like, every single time they have, like, even if it's an expansion or an adventure, they have, like, a really cool theme that goes along with it. Because I was thinking not too long ago, and I'm like, in terms of Warcraft stuff, what else can they really focus on right now? And then, you know, Cat, what are you doing? Okay. Just, we were talking about this was going to happen too. Like, a cat is going to do something fucked up here, and that is exactly what's happening. So, poor guy. He's got a cough. Anyway, so you know, we had 19 Karazhan, which I think is probably one of the most flavorful adventures that they've put out. So love that. And now Mean Streets of Gadgetzan is it's looking really cool. Now, for anybody who watched it, I'm sure you saw the same cards I saw. And I didn't see a lot of stuff that just made me go, oh my god, amazing. But it was just some cool, flavorful stuff. Some stuff I did see and I thought, oh my god, that's amazing. Like,
but if they were legendary cards, of course.
Yeah. There was a legendary. You drop him and you get to choose, like, first and foremost, if you're playing Singleton, which most Reno Lock fans would be playing it, you get to create a custom potion. So you start out, you get to choose between like 1 cost, 5 cost, 10 cost. And then, depending on what your decision was, you start choosing like what type of abilities your potion's going to do. You'll get a choice between 3 different ones for both abilities that are put in there. And one of them, one for like the 10 costs, is turn every minion on the board into a 1/1 sheep.
I don't know. Was that your phone?
Maybe.
Unbelievable.
I know. It's just, it's awful.
It's just unbelievable how...
It's terrible that people love me and retweet me. I love all of you. Thank you.
And you forget to silence it before
Yeah.
we go live. Fantastic. Anyway, continue on.
Okay. Yeah, that guy's really cool. I don't think he's going to be like tournament worthy because I don't know. Like if the 5 cost is really good, then that would work, but like sitting around waiting for the 10 to show up, yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch. So I'm not sure how well that's going to work. The pirate dude, like I cannot remember his name. I'd have to look him up. But this guy, like, whenever you play like a pirate, he pretty much comes out. And so they were showing a rogue deck where you play like gang up on him twice. You know, you're making 3 copies of him every time. So you play a pirate, and then all these copies in the deck, because keep in mind he is a legendary. There's only supposed to be 1 of him. But at that point, like when somebody plays a pirate and you've ganged up on him twice, you get 6 of those guys at once. And so it just showed like the animation is he shoots out of a cannon. So when they showed that, it was just like constant cannon fire, just firing pirates onto the stage for you. So I like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, of course.
I'd say like the worst one they put out, and to me it was just like, what the fuck, this sucks, was the counterfeit coin. I don't know if you heard about this.
I vaguely heard about it, but was that the like the usable like tokens usable for paid features or whatever it was?
No, the counterfeit coin is just the coin, but you have like you can put it as a deck slot, 2 of them in your deck.
Oh, we're still talking about Hearthstone. Okay.
Yeah. The counterfeit coin, like yeah, two cards in your deck, both of them act as the coin. They're taking up 2 slots in your deck to give you 1 extra mana for a turn, or if you have both of them in your hand, 2 extra mana for 1 turn. I think it sucks. I think it is. It fits the flavor. Let's say that it fits the flavor of the set because it's supposed to be about mobsters and everything else. Counterfeit money, okay, makes sense. But in terms of like a card, I don't think much of it.
So is that the most interesting thing out of BlizzCon for you? Not brawls coming to Warcraft or the tokens in World of Warcraft being used for paid features, or a new MOBA, or not a new MOBA, but a new feature in Heroes of the Storm. What else was there? There was some Diablo news as well. Not the one I think you were hoping for.
Yeah. I
but
kind of...
there was some Diablo news, that's for sure.
I shot high and landed low on that one. Because I know a lot of people listening to the podcast know that I was saying Diablo 4 is coming. It's coming. It's coming. No, it didn't.
Whoops.
Not even. Okay, so I know a lot of people are complaining about the Diablo thing because they were expecting like a major expansion or something like that. But I will say the idea of Diablo 1 and Diablo 3 is really cool, with like all levels and everything else. So am I super pumped for that? Oh yeah. I'd say I'm more pumped for that than I am the new Hearthstone set. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
but I think people were kind of like yourself, shooting for the moon, like, oh my god, they're gonna announce Diablo 4. I can only assume like what the reaction was in Blizzard. Like in-house, the reaction for that was like, oh fuck, they think we're making Diablo 4. What do we do?
Do you know the way they countered that though?
Yeah.
They started posting necromancer shit everywhere. That's how they countered it, because first they were putting it up, and again, all the subreddits are owned by Blizzard. Blizzard started all of the not Diablo, but all of the Blizzard-related subreddits were started by them. So I know they monitor them. So there were a lot of people saying, this is it, Diablo 4, it's coming. They probably saw that and said, oh shit, maybe we pushed it a little too hard. Let's start throwing necromancer stuff everywhere.
And then they come out with the news like, you can play Diablo 1 and Diablo 3.
Oh. Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's great news, but I mean, it's not what everyone was expecting. So I think it was a little bit of a letdown, but not too much.
To be fair, a lot of people, I know it's BlizzCon, so obviously there's biased people in the crowd, but they got a big reaction from that.
Yeah.
I did get to see that. People got up and just like were cheering that on. They were really happy to hear that. But I think the big reason why people aren't as excited for that as others would think is because, Diablo 1 cherished. Great. But you're going to be playing Diablo 1 with a Diablo 3 engine.
Mm.
And that is probably the big reason why everybody's like, yeah, no, not so interested. I am. I'm definitely
There are people that are interested, but the majority could not care less, I don't think.
Well, I will agree that is kind of a letdown compared to what they could be doing, because they wanted an HD remaster of Diablo 2. That's what fans wanted. And it's not just me saying that. You can go read around and you'll come to the same conclusion. That's what fans wanted. Me personally, I just wanted an expansion for Diablo 3. I wasn't shooting that hardcore. I was like, give us an expansion or give us Diablo 4. I got neither. So, okay, good.
Good job. Very good.
Good job. Yes, we're already doing well with this one. Excellent.
Solid. Going batting a 0. Batting a 0 out of 2.
But in terms of it, like, since there was no HD version of Diablo 2 and the Necromancer, I mean, that was really cool, but then they said you can purchase the Necromancer in the coming months. Purchase.
Yep. Well, how much? Did they say a price?
No.
Well,
here's
well,
the
no
other
then.
thing. In terms of it, if you're not getting a full-fledged expansion out of it, and it's just going to be like whatever the patch brings plus the Necromancer, the word purchase shouldn't be in that. The word free should be in that.
So you really think that the Necromancer, but like, how much content would there be in this thing to justify a purchase? There's got to be a lot.
They said you're going to get the patch is going to come out for everybody. So whatever content this patch is going to bring, everybody gets, and then you can buy the Necromancer. And honestly, I don't think purchasing another class is going to help the game that much, because you've pretty much done it all, unless this patch is going to be massive.
What if it is massive?
Okay, I mean, I'll definitely take that back. I love Blizzard. I don't want to run them down, but I think this is a pretty boneheaded decision.
I mean, that's fair to say that, right now, just looking at it on paper, that this is not the best decision to make.
Right.
But we don't know a whole lot about it other than it's just something in a patch.
And that was the other one I bombed on really quick that I'd like to point out.
Yep.
Because I kept saying with the Warcraft movie, it didn't do that well here in the West. It did much better in Europe and in China and everything like that. And I said, this is the year for Warcraft 4. As the Metal pointed out, Warcraft 4 one of these decades.
One of these decades it'll come.
I was hell-bent on it. I was like, this is the year. It's happening. I called, I said Quake was coming back. That happened. This is going to happen too. Yeah, no.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Guess again.
0
maybe
for 3.
0 for 3. And that is what we call benching Patrick Breeden in a baseball game.
Man,
so,
I got benched.
You got benched, son. You went 0 for 3 and you've been pinch hitted. Where is Tannerface? Tannerface is not available on Discord as of yet. Discord needs to get the screen share ready in order for me to bring in this face. And Zanbot has also kicked Catawell from the chat yet again. Anyway, moving on from BlizzCon to a majority of the BlizzCon news, I think, is Overwatch. And Overwatch has a new league now for esports, but that's not the biggest news. The biggest news, obviously, is Sombra and the new stuff that's going to be available in the main servers, but is in PTR right now. And I played some of the PTR. Right now, I really like what they're doing with a lot of the stuff, because there's a new arcade mode in Overwatch. There's 1v1s, there's 3v3 eliminations, 6v6 mystery heroes, and 6v6, I think, just one character select only. But man, I don't man, this new update is so good. and Sombra is so awkward to control right now. But any new character really is hard to control because here's what Sombra is currently. Sombra is a female version of Peter Dinklage in Destiny. If Peter Dinklage obviously was female and had a lot of tequila during recording.
Okay.
Like, to me, the personality is not there with Sombra. Like, it's so monotone from what I can hear. But I feel like they need to tweak on some of that. But aside from that, the character plays a little bit interesting because it's Uzi, or like a small machine gun that she has, and right click can hack opponents with, like, that basically allows them to not use abilities. And you can also hack health packs, which is very fascinating. I don't know what that does exactly because I've done it before, but nobody's ever picked up a health pack to really do anything with that.
That is interesting.
Yeah. What else is there? There's a beacon that stays in one place for 15 seconds, which if you're in trouble or if you want to like teleport to another part of the map that you set that beacon at, you can do that when you hit E again. And then there's the ability to go invisible for, I think, 10 seconds, which silences your footsteps as well. So you can really flank people with this. And it's going to be an interesting character to use in the meta. And the meta will change with this character, just like Ana changed the meta. But how will this play in competitive? That's my question. How is Sombra going to play in competitive?
I'm not quite sure on that one. I think the thing you would have to look toward, and I don't know how much competitive TF2 has played, but to me, Sombra is them bringing the spy in.
Yep, it absolutely is. But here's the thing with this: invisibility does not grant you invincibility, so you can be hit if they guess correctly.
Right, which honestly is the correct way to do it. I mean, that's 100% how it should work. So I'm glad that they got that correct. The hacking part, the more and more people play it and start to understand what the ability does and what they can do with it, I think that'll start playing a huge amount into it. And overall, I mean, if it takes away their ability to, like, you know, use their E and everything else, I mean, that kind of character could both be offensive and defensive.
Yes.
Depending on how
I don't know,
you want to play.
And I don't know what it would do as far as like mid-ult goes, if anything. Because I do feel that like that would be an interesting feature, or at least like her ultimate ability is an EMP, which I don't know what that exactly does other than mass like nullifies like abilities for other players, which could be interesting, but I would have to like really, really get down with this character a lot more, and I would have to see a lot more people getting to know this character for me to really say that it's going to change a lot. And also, since this is a new offensive character, and we still haven't like known what the Symmetra rework is going to be, which is up in the air at this point, I think a lot of people are pointing that character is going to defense, but we haven't seen anything, which leaves players like me up in the air on what Symmetra is going to be. Is she going to be a support, and that's going to be an entire rework with her character, or is she going to get put on defense and have a small rework?
That's interesting, and yeah, that's a good question to ask. It's a good question to ask, like, when they start doing reworks, because when Sombra comes in, I'm certain that they're going to be moving stuff around. It's not just going to be a little snip here, a little snip there. It's probably going to be a whole lot. Especially because I'm wondering, they have to balance all these additional modes they're bringing in.
Yes. And I'm wondering if a character is going to get retired very soon. Because it does feel... I don't know if it feels oversaturated at this point.
No, I don't think they're going to retire anybody, simply because... I mean, just look at Heroes of the Storm is the big example I would give you. Look at the roster on that game. It is massive and still growing.
That's fair.
So I don't see them retiring anybody.
But they did leave the option open to retire people or retire characters.
Yeah, what they
So
could do.
it doesn't exactly rule it out for the that if it gets too populated in the menus, then you will see some less popular characters go away, which changes the meta again.
Right. I mean, that's the best way to do something like that. Like, if you have more and more characters, as the meta shifts and they make different changes, you know, the characters that aren't performing as well are going to get, you know, they're not going to get phased out by Blizzard. They're going to get phased out by the player base.
But if they do get phased out by Blizzard, I don't know. Like, it's hard to pin down like 3 characters that are like less played than others. I would say Symmetra is on that chopping block, unfortunately, which really bums me out because you don't see a lot of Symmetra players, unfortunately, other than like on defense in the first point. And if they get the first point, well, you're switching. And then there's Zenyatta, which they kind of tweaked him to hell and back to try and make it viable, but no one's really picked up on Zenyatta other than the people who have already played Zenyatta or are comfortable enough to play Zenyatta, and maybe even Zarya. Maybe. I don't know.
That's going to be a big one. Because with Zarya, the reason why I don't think that they would ever like touch her at all at this moment is because like they consider her to be an important enough character to bring over to Heroes of the Storm.
Right.
So I think like if they have that kind of feeling about a character to the point where they want to port them over to Heroes, I don't think they're going to touch those people. Now Zenyatta, that I would agree with because every time I play the guy, I feel like I'm completely lost and drunk. I do
maybe
not like
Winston.
having anything to
maybe
do with
Winston.
Winston? Perhaps.
Because you don't see a lot of Winstons other than on King of the Hill.
Because Winston, he's just not as good of a tank as the other selections.
Right. Because, I mean, you have Roadhog, who's like the go-to tank other than Reinhardt. You have D.Va, who's been buffed, significantly buffed, especially in the PTR, who got 100+ health, I believe. Then you have Zarya, which, you know, is kind of teeter-tottering, in my opinion, between the popularity of the tanks. And then there's Winston, who only gets 1 point of playtime, and I think that's on Nepal.
Yeah, I never see anything impressive happening with Winston, except for the occasional well-placed barrier.
Yeah.
I'll say that happens every once in a while, but I'm not super excited for Winston.
It's fascinating to really know like what is on the chopping block, if at all.
Well, I mean, I don't think
in my
it's
opinion
wrong to speculate that. I mean, even if it turns out that nobody is, I mean, the argument of who can be is always a fun one to have.
Mm-hmm. So let's go into the arcade mode here. Arcade mode has the 1v1 matchups, which is a 1st to 5. And it randomly selects the heroes, so you don't get to like pick between like Widowmaker or whatever. It gives you like 1 hero, 2 players, go. And then the 1st of 5 wins. Let's see. Then there's the 3v3 elimination, which is basically 3-on-3 Gears of War, except, you know, less beefed up characters and less body parts flying. So basically what that is that it's a first to 3. So it's basically a series of 5 matchups. And if you die, then you don't respawn. And then you have to wait for the next round if there is a next round. Then there's the mystery heroes. There's the 6v6 1 hero classifications, I believe. So it's kind of like competitive mode, but not exactly competitive. But Season 3 is around the corner sooner than we thought. So that's also interesting. And the placement matches for competitive mode will kind of carry over with your rank, but not really. Like, you'll still have placement matches, but your previous rank will be taken more into consideration than just wins and losses, which is really interesting to see how this new season plays out.
it's interesting that you're talking about those different things because, like, you would just never expect that kind of thing with, like, something like Overwatch because it's supposed to be, like, this big team kind of thing. But then they start breaking it down. They're like, you can have, like, well, they're pretty much brawls at this point where it's like a 1-on-1, 3-on-3, different things like that. And it's just awesome.
It is awesome because the arcade modes give out weekly weekly rewards for playing those. So if you win 3 of the arcade types, then you get 3 loot boxes. So the loot box system is very beneficial to the arcade mode. So if you really want to get into loot boxes and you don't want to necessarily pay for any of them, arcade is the way to go. Because you get 3 loot boxes for 3 wins in arcade every week. And I think that's done for every, like, up to 9 wins. So basically, if you get, like, 9 wins, then you get 9 loot boxes. That's it. But it breaks it down by 3. So if you win 3, then it gives you 3 loot boxes. If you win another 3, and this is not by consecutive, this is just overall.
Yeah.
And you get another 3 loot boxes. And then if you get that last 3, then that's it for that week.
That's awesome.
It's a very, very rewarding, like, arcade mode. Well, and it's fun, too.
Yeah, because that's, like, the number one complaint that people have had when it came to, Overwatch and playing to get the loot boxes, because you don't really get much out of it. And as you progress in the game, you get less and less of them. It becomes harder to get until you go into Prestige, and I can't talk on that because I'm not in Prestige. I assume it would get easier again, right?
Yes, they do get easier once you get past 100 because it basically is like a reset of the entire ranking system.
Right.
But the arcade mode does not level up quite as fast as quick play or competitive.
Still better than nothing. I would still gladly take that. It may not be the perfect solution to a problem, but at least they're acknowledging it.
Yes.
Which is nice because a lot of people just said, no, they won't acknowledge it. They make too much money. Well, they kind of are now. So that's not too bad. That's actually a step in the right direction.
So there are a lot of good changes coming for Overwatch, but I'm also kind of disappointed that Sombra was not just a spray. That kind of upsets me that Blizzard wouldn't take the troll
you're
route.
upset that they aren't trolling people?
Exactly. Perfect. That's right. That's right. I just wanted it to be a spray, and then everyone would lose their minds like they did for about like a couple days. It's like, it's all it was, just a spray? That's all it was a spray. Shameful. What is this?
And speaking of like doing brawls and different things like that, what about brawls coming to World of Warcraft? I thought that was awesome.
That was great news to hear.
I mean, yeah, in terms of it, like, here's the thing. Like, anybody who's played a lot of PvP will know what I'm talking about, especially if you play a lot of Arena. After a while, Arena just becomes, like, how can you tweak the setup you have to deal with this situation or that situation or something like that. After a while, Arena gets repetitive. And that's no good, because Arena is supposed to be, and PvP is supposed to be a situation where it's always different. Because it's not you versus something pre-programmed, it's you versus another person. And these brawls that are coming to WoW are going to be able to kind of, shift that a little bit every single week. So you're going to have something maybe silly, outlandish, whatever. And you're going to be able to do it in a PvP fashion. So that has gotten me very excited.
Excellent.
I can't wait to try that. I don't know how it's going to go. It might just be a silly mess, but I'm down. Let's get silly.
Let's get silly. So we will end the show with one more piece of news. But before I deliver this piece of news, I will say that in the past couple of weeks, maybe in the past few weeks, I've seen myself grow more and more distant with video game news because I've kind of become less interested in it. And I don't know if that's my own fault or if like I'm growing old in some weird way, but I've just become increasingly disinterested in video game news. And I don't know if that's because the Cubs were making the playoffs or whatever, and they had this great playoff run, But I just found myself like, man, I do not care for anything that's going on in the news. And I was befuddled and shocked to read that Animal Crossing got an update. And that rekindled my interest because that's a 4-year-old game that got a massive overhaul. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Like, let me tell you about Animal Crossing New Leaf and its new update.
Oh, hit me.
So this is mostly an amiibo update where you can use the 16 Animal Crossing figures like Kix and Isabelle, Digby, Tom Nook, you name them. All of them work with Animal Crossing now. There's also Wisp's Wishes, which by finding the magic lamp in the main game, you will unlock amiibo functionality. And once acquired, you can use the lamp once a day to summon the ghostly Wisp. Tap a compatible amiibo and invite that respective amiibo character to your village. So if you want an entire amiibo village full of cats, this is your go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also some new amiibo cards. There's going to be some, I think, like 50 new amiibo cards coming on December the 2nd. And a new feature to the game, the RV Campground, where special villagers and different interactions, kind of like Digby and Isabelle, they'll go camping in this special area. I was kind of hoping it was down by the river, so I could say like some of my villagers are living in a van down by the eating a steady diet of government cheese. If you're younger than 21, you might not get that joke. You might not, but that's okay. You can go ahead and Google that. Van down by the river. Just go ahead and Google
It's
that. It's a classic. Classic Chris Farley. Anyway, if you don't have an amiibo or have amiibo compatibility, there are some new features without that. So there's a new amiibo camera mode, which I know sounds weird, but it's not an amiibo feature. There's no amiibo needed. You can generate whatever you want. You can generate, I think I saw someone earlier like generate like a standee of Shantae and just use that. Like you put your villager's face in that hole. It's basically like a cheesy kind of camera photo op, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the new storeroom, which you can put in all this furniture or all your bells or anything. Like it's basically more storage for you than what was previously given.
Yeah, it's like putting your stuff in the void and you can just pull it out whenever you want.
Exactly. So then there's more decorating ways and all this stuff. Meow coupons, which is mutual exchange of wealth coupons. You can obtain unique in-game items at the campground or from visiting your animal villager friends. So this gives, the incentive to pull those weeds or gather certain seashells. But also in the game, like if you have not played for like a certain amount of time, like let's say you haven't played since Overwatch was released, which was my case. You ride this train and then Isabelle comes up to you like Rover does in the GameCube game. And she's like, "Oh, Mayor, it's been so long. Were you on vacation?" And the both of you know you weren't on vacation. You know exactly where you were. You were playing a different game. Like, you both know that, but you go ahead and lie and say, "Yes, I was on vacation." She's like, "Oh, I took care of the town for you while you were gone. So we're all excited to see you again." It gives you that guilt trip mode. It's like, wow, maybe I should play this a little bit more. Like, it gives you that guilt trip like Animal Crossing is known if you haven't played it for a long time. And then there's also Happy Home Designer transfer to that game. So there's a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of new interesting stuff with Animal Crossing. And I think a lot of people who liked Animal Crossing New Leaf should go ahead and check it out. Don't like make a new town. Just go ahead and like check it out with your old town.
And the best part about it Now all those amiibo that are just rotting on the shelves that nobody wants, they have a point now.
Yes.
Woo!
They finally have a point other than the which I enjoyed, but not a lot of people did.
Amiibo Festival. Ugh.
Yeah, Amiibo Festival. I enjoyed it because it was a less random Mario. But I guess people like the randomness of Mario Party, and I'm just in the minority. I'm an old, bitter person that doesn't like Mario Party. And you can save that soundbite.
He doesn't like Mario Party. He doesn't like game news.
I'm just old and crotchety.
He's rickety. He's going to fall apart any moment.
Yes. But at any moment, I could go to bed and then there'd be just pieces of me on the bed.
Wow.
And I'd have to like try and build myself back together. It's like Legos.
Speaking of Amiibo, really quick for anybody who is interested in Animal Crossing New Leaf and they want to get some of the Amiibo, according to some people that have been snooping around and looking at some Black Friday deals and whatnot, apparently the Animal Crossing Amiibo are going to get a permanent price change to $8.99.
Oh.
So if you haven't picked those up yet and you're like, man, I really want to grab them, wait just a few weeks.
Just a few weeks, because they're not rare at all. No. None of them are rare.
They are rotting on... You could go to a GameStop right now, and there will be a bin just filled with them.
You go to a Best Buy, and I guarantee you there will be at least like some end cap with just the Animal Crossing Amiibos, and there's on sale for like $5 or whatever.
Yeah,
they just want to get rid of them. I love Animal Crossing too, but I mean these Amiibos are not moving.
Yeah, they're not moving because there was nothing to do with them until now. So that's a big thing. And let's see what else with Amiibo news. If you haven't picked up any of your Wave 2 of Super Mario Brothers Amiibo, they are out now. I grabbed a whole bunch of them. And everybody wants Boo. You know you want Boo.
Everybody wants Boo. Everybody loves Boo, just like everybody loves Raymond. And everybody hates Chris. So,
how dare you?
There is one
Raymond.
But everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody.
I'm just gonna stare at you awkwardly.
Okay, whatever. Well, you're just staring at a facade of me, which is a picture, and that's not actually me. But there will be some 2017 Amiibo coming, and those are the finale. That is the finale of the Smash Brothers series. Like, if you were waiting for a long time to get Cloud or whomever was not released yet, like Bayonetta, they're coming soon. They're coming in 2017. So just wait off on that. I know a lot of people have been super patient on the finale of the Smash series, so they're getting there. They're getting there.
I'm still waiting. I think I might like
slowly but surely. They remade Gold Mario and Lucina.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of those.
They also did Palutena again too.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like, holy hell. Like, now all of a sudden Gold Mario went from like the rarest amiibo possible to common.
Yeah. I've got one right now.
So now I'm wondering, is Silver Mario the new unicorn? Because you don't see a lot of Silver Mario. A lot of gold, but you don't see a lot of silver.
That's a very good question. You're right. I haven't seen that in a good while.
So now his status has been upgraded to platinum. And with that, we will end the show on November the 10th, 2016. I'm Tanner Larson.
And I am Patrick Breeden.
And you stay platinum, America.
I quit. I quit.
I did it. I did it.
For everybody still watching, I don't actually quit.
Looks like we made it. Oh.
I hope your hair falls out.
Well, there's a funny story about that. So, for those who are sticking around, if you haven't heard me say this before, man, should I go from the very beginning of what happened when I first cut my hair?
You can do it how you want.
Okay, well, Um, before I made this vow, which has been completed, by the way, I last cut my hair prior to this in 2014 of October because there was an incident that happened on my lunch break when I was still working at Walmart. I was living in Moorhead at the time, and you quit every week. You do. You really do. You really do quit every week.
No, I don't.
But aside from that, that's another debaser fact, by the way. He quits every week. I was on a lunch break at Walmart one day, and there was a big fly problem in my apartment, and we had fly paper all over the place. So I was on my lunch break, and then I had to dig out my coat because it was kind of chilly that day, and I must have knocked over the fly paper, and it landed on the left side of my head, which I had to spend 5 minutes washing that out now because the fly paper was in my hair. And it wouldn't come out, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I went to work, and I told them, I'm not going to finish the rest of my shift because look at me. Look at me and my hair and how awful it looks right now. So they just gave me a look, and they're like, all right, have a good day. Because they try not to laugh. They're trying not to laugh at my problem. So I spend about 2 hours in the shower trying to wash this out, and it's not coming out. So now the next best option is I have to shave my head to get this out. And I do this for about 15 minutes. Roommate comes home, and she's looking at me like I'm a psychopath, which is fair. That's a fair assessment at that given moment. And I ask her for help, and then she finally shaves the rest of my head. That was the last time I cut my hair before this. So what happened was back in March of 2015, I made a personal vow to myself, looking at the Chicago Cubs roster, looking at it from top to bottom, and I thought, man, this team could win the World Series one day, or at least go to the World Series. So I said to myself, if they win the World Series, because I'm balding because of my dad's horrible genes, horrible genes, I will go ahead and shave my head, and I will accept my bald. So they did that a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of the best World Series I've ever seen. It was a tremendous Game 7, and it was the good result for me to shave my head because I was honestly getting tired of the long hair. I really was getting tired of long hair because I had to brush it with my hands every 5 minutes because my neck would get kind of stiff from it because it would sneak its way down the shirt. You know what I mean?
I always have mine tied back, so.
Well, I have never been able to do that because I don't know how to really style my own hair. But regardless, it would sneak, the back hairs would sneak its way down into the shirt, which would kind of make my neck a little bit stiff. So I'd have to get them out of there and all that stuff. But now I don't have to worry about that. Now I am a hairless individual.
And how does it feel?
Feels all right.
It's okay. Whatever.
It's okay. I mean, I've done this before in the past, before I decided to grow my hair out.
As you said.
It was all right because I had long hair during the summer, and I had a bald head during the winter, which kind of seems backwards almost, but I like to be abnormal sometimes.
Well, I'm still the long-haired person of the group.
Yep. You still have the long hair because you have not terrible genes.
Yay. Well,
yeah.
They're terrible in other ways, but not in hair.
They're terrible in other ways, but not as far as your scalp goes.
No.
You're not you do not have a receding hairline, let's say.
No.
whereas I do.
No,
So.
I would tell you pretty much this shit's going nowhere. That's just the way it goes.
Whereas mine is, well, see ya. You're 27 years old. I don't care.
I'm sorry your hair pieced out on you.
It's piecing out, but you know what? I can rock the bald. I can rock the bald, I feel.
Well, that's once upon a time, that's what George Carlin said about all the people who want to shave their heads and look cool, and he said, just wait till you're bald.
One way or another, you're going to have to rock it.
That's exactly what he said. He said to all the people who go around shaving their heads to look like cool guys, just wait till you're bald. And that's what you did.
Yep. So, I might have to accept it because
you win.
It's coming. It's coming one way or another, if I like it or not. Oof. All right. Well, that's a show.
Indeed.
That is a good show. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
That's a
Patrick sneezed on the air. How rude of him to do that.
I'm the rudest person ever.
Yes. Yes, you are. But that's okay, because you'll be back next week because you didn't quit.
Until I do.
Which you won't.
Which I might.
You won't.
It's a possibility.
You won't.
You suck.
That I do.
All you people suck. You and your debaser facts and all this crap. And actually, I love you people. I love you. I think you're wonderful people.
Don't believe his lies.
I do think you're wonderful people, but we've got to get this show done for the evening. So, thank you for the Super Meat Boy thumbs up medal. I'll give you one right back. But I'm not made of meat. Well, maybe raw meat. Either way.
You are made of meat. You're just human meat. For a cannibal to dine on one day. Maybe.
Let's not.
I mean, it might happen. It might happen.
Let's not say we did.
You live in West Virginia. Nothing is out of the ordinary.
Yeah, okay, before we end it really quick, do you know the movie Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Yes.
I didn't realize they set that damn movie in West Virginia. Until, like, the group was watching it, our buddies on Discord. They were watching it, and then, like, I saw the very beginning it mentioned West Virginia. I'm like, fuck, man. Every time.
Why did you mention that to them? Because you know they're not going to live it down now.
Oh, no, they weren't having it or anything. They weren't going nuts. But I was just like, okay, first we get Wrong Turn. And that was screwed up. Okay? That was just wrong. And then it's like, oh, it's a bunch of hillbilly guys, and they're scary, scary, scary hillbilly guys. Oh, West Virginia?
Yep.
Okay, what state was Deliverance supposed to have taken place in?
Virginia?
No, Georgia.
Oh.
So why do they keep putting the shit on me?
Well, it's because you're the poster child for that state anyway.
I am the poster child of the facts. So, in terms of that, quick plug before we call it done. If you enjoy fighting games and you want to join up, there will be Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator on PS4 at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern this Sunday. Bring your debaser facts because everybody else will.
Speaking of Sunday, we will be switching to Sundays here pretty soon. I can't say it's going to be next week, but it's going to be soon, and we'll give you a heads up on Twitter at Reset Tanner, and he is at Reset Patrick. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, then you'll get so much of me in one day that you're going to be sick to your stomachs. And I say, good. You deserve it. Okay, we're leaving.
They don't deserve that.
We're leaving. Bye.